Today we're going to learn how to use can, can't, could, and couldn't. These are very common modal verbs, and we use them to talk about ability, what people can or cannot do. Let's start with can and can't. We use can to talk about ability in general, especially in the present. For example, he can drive, she can speak English, I can read this book, we can answer the questions. The negative form is can't, and it means something is not possible. For example, I can't spell this word, he can't pass the exam, they can't understand the exercise. We also use can to talk about ability now or in the near future. For example, I can help you with your homework, she can take the exam tomorrow, we can study together this afternoon. And in negative form, I can't come to class today, he can't finish the project now. Now let's look at could and couldn't. We use these forms to talk about ability in the past. For example, I could read when I was 5, she could speak 2 languages, we could answer difficult questions, they couldn't understand the lesson, he couldn't pass the exam. So remember, could means past ability. To make questions, we change the word order and put the modal verb first. For example, can you read this? Can she answer the question? Can they take the exam? And in the past, could you spell that word? Could he pass the test? Could they understand the lesson? These structures are simple and very useful. Now let's talk about be able to. This is another way to talk about ability. It is not a modal verb, so we change the verb to be. In the present, it is very similar to can. For example, I am able to read. She is able to answer the question. We are able to study today. In the negative, I am not able to understand this. They aren't able to finish the exercise. We don't use it as much as can, but it is still important. We can also use be able to in the past. For example, I was able to pass the exam. She was able to answer all the questions. We were able to finish the project. This is especially useful when we talk about a specific moment in the past, like one situation. For example, yesterday, I was able to answer all the questions in the exam. We were able to get good marks. He was able to finish his project on time. In these cases, we often prefer was, were, able to instead of could. For negative sentences in the past, we can use both forms. For example, I couldn't understand the lesson. I wasn't able to understand the lesson. They couldn't pass the exam. They weren't able to pass the exam. Both forms are correct. Let's see some examples with study vocabulary. I can read my notes. She can answer the questions. We can take the exam tomorrow. He can't spell difficult words. They can't finish the project. In the past, I could read well last year. She could pass her exams. We couldn't understand the lesson. He couldn't answer the question. With be able to, we were able to finish the exercise. She was able to pass the test. To summarize, we use can, can't for ability in the present, could, couldn't for ability in the past. And be able to is another way to talk about ability, especially for specific situations. Learning these forms will help you talk about what you can do, could do, and are able to do in English.